CEO Ronald from Creating Difference. No, you are not seeing double. You are seeing two different bowling balls. Now, obviously, there's a surface difference between these two. This happens to be the Dynamic Swing Hybrid. This happens to be the Dynamic Swing Pearl. So we're going to start by looking at, well, one of the obvious differences, which is the surface. These bowling balls are not the same. This one happens to be at 3,000. This one happens to be at 5,000. Now, with that being said, there's also another difference. Look at this. The black color has pearl in it over here, but on the solid, or on the hybrid, there's no pearl. The other two colors are both pearl, and they are the same. So you say, man, two bowling balls, two different surfaces, same cover stock, same core, same layout, which happens to be 60 by 4 3/4 by 30. So what do? Let's find out. We'll start with the Dynamic Swing Hybrid at first, which is the duller of the two. This is kind of a good observation of surface as well. Strong, continuous ball motion is what that shot exhibited. And now, similar line with the Dynamic Swing Pearl. That's a lot less surface. Woo! Throwing wood. Throwing some wood. We like that. We like that. All right, so we're going to do that again. Those balls obviously did not leave the same way through the pin deck. And we're going to throw that Dynamic Swing Hybrid again first, which is best in that medium to heavy oil. And that shot right there is going to be a reason why. So you see how that ball did not recover. So that ball did not recover because it was hooking a little bit too early and was not able to hook down lane. The ball was out to the friction. It just was a little bit early, not a lot down lane. So we're going to switch balls and throw that Dynamic Swing Pearl, which actually is a less friction or less surface on the cover stock, which is actually going to be able to recover in a similar spot. That's further right. Way, way, way further right. And you saw how that ball began to make that move though, right? So that's kind of the difference between a bowling ball that burns up and a bowling ball that it hooks too late. So that is really good information for you, the casual bowler, to watch how your bowling ball is going through the pins. That shot actually was further right, a lot further right, which is why it didn't strike. But the shape of that motion was definitely more angular. So if he throws that exact same shot, but the angle's a little bit cleaner through the front, a little bit straighter through the front, that bowling ball's going to be 10 back. Whereas the other ball, the Dynamic Swing Hybrid, with that such a much more aggressive surface, actually is just going to be too much. Woo! Definitely made a strong move. Definitely made a strong move with the Dynamic Swing Pearl there. And that's a bowling ball that is not burning up. That's a bowling ball that is just angular all the way around. So definitely a difference between the two ball motions, which you're going to be able to see. So we're going to throw that Dynamic Swing Hybrid, which is the duller of the two again, for a comparison. So you can see how that ball makes the move, and then it's kind of smoother. It's kind of smoother as it goes through the pins. That's because the surface of that bowling ball is making that bowling ball definitely earlier, and definitely, it's great right now, right? The reaction of that ball is good right now. But that bowling ball, comparatively to the Dynamic Swing Pearl, is not honestly going to give you as much strikes for as long of a time period as the Pearl, because the Pearl still recovers. Even though it's in oil, it's just a much more pronounced back-end reaction. You can see that, right? You're watching that ball have a much more pronounced back-end reaction, which means as the lanes begin to transition, the Pearl would be able to strike for a longer period of time than the Hybrid, because the Pearl is going to be able to kick out that corner pin as it's going to go long enough and be angular enough to continue to kick out the corner pin, whereas the Hybrid is going to begin to be earlier and earlier and earlier, which is going to eventually have that ball leave that flatty 10 pin. So now we're back to the Hybrid. So that's the problem. That bowling ball wasn't a bad shot per se. Instead, you can see it's just kind of going straight through the pins when it gets down there, and not at an angle, not coming to split the 8-9. It's going more over the 9-pin spot. We'll throw it again just to kind of show it again. Now, this is something that you guys need to be paying attention to. If you don't, you're going to miss out on transition and how to play transition. We're actually kind of simulating a little bit of that with these two bowling balls. So the dynamic swing hybrid, you're going to throw that ball again, and you're going to watch how it goes through the pins. See that? That's because the ball's hooking too early. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to find a little bit more oil, get that bowling ball to face up, and then you'd be okay. But the hybrid, but the Pearl, which has a much less aggressive finish, will recover from that spot. And as the lanes break down, you'll be able to get more use out of that ball for a longer period of time. So we're gonna throw the dynamic swing Pearl now. See how the ball goes through the pins? So that's the kind of reaction you're looking for when you're bowling league. And as that reaction begins to change, you'll want to make sure that you're changing your ball, where you're playing the lane at, or changing bowling balls. Now, just to show it again, now we've zoomed in, throw the dynamic swing hybrid right there. I want them to be able to watch how the ball goes through the pins, because that's really an indicator of whether the ball's burning up, whether the ball's hooking too much, not hooking enough. See that? That's what I'm talking about. So now you've got a much better understanding of kind of not only how these two bowling balls are inherently, but kind of when to use when to use what. What I would do is I would start off by using the dynamic swing hybrid because it actually is a earlier rolling ball. But as soon as that ball left that flatty 10 pin, or as soon as that ball began to exhibit that kind of behavior right there where it's just not finishing through the pocket, finishing through the pins, I'm going to make that immediate switch to the new dynamic swing Pearl. You got a little more information now. You can go to bowlingforless.com, pick up both these bowling balls. You can also go to ctdbowling.com and take one of these bowling balls and change the surface of it to change the reaction of the bowling ball. So with that being said, on behalf of Dustin Zander, I am CEO Ron Hooker from Creative Difference. Talk to you soon.